ay nga ba na jal bukan jal muy nga da gen do lok na me nga ben kan nok nga duk jang nga jal ben kan nok yo buit nga jal nga ni bu ana nga du nyamet bim boleh kuat tinggal yang anak.
Ani nga bimbep ni ya kabor bimbep me ya gunret jang nga bimpun gure kun marmo kun waral paki ngajar ni wai puki pengajar bim no ga bep me ba ga inan ingat ngarima kurmering kayo kugul kujering kugul pakai ngari bepke ngari ma ngari bimpun dolopo karinan ning ngari bengkan kat ngari ukot kulungat ko. Hari karmi. Pakai guna kai. Aja le minya bawoy. Aja re. Adukun waral.
Well, I think we're living an extraordinary moment in terms of an art movement, and it's happening right here. It's, you know, outside it was burgeoning, and it's still in the process. We haven't seen it all. For me, that visual emotion was enough. That's something that puzzles me a bit when people say, I like the painting, but I want to understand. You don't need to understand when you look at art for me. It has to touch you, it has to bring emotions. That's when I appreciate art.
The Kaninku art, in particular, the work from Maningrida, and particularly the group around John Mowangel, has been extremely innovative in the past 10 or 15 years. Things have moved very, very quickly in this art. Its importance in the market, its importance to collectors. And what's happened is it shows that it's a living, breathing contemporary art. When you buy a bark painting, or when you acquire or look at a bark painting, you're not looking at a reproduction or a depiction of that country. Before any paint is put on the bark or the pole at all, you're looking at, it already is a piece of the country. And I think that comes through. You actually have a piece of the story in your possession before they even put anything on it.
pipi yang abi benar. Kalau nggak bengka nya beri beri. Tapora por ngandu mana ima ngapat ngat mana ima. Ngat minyari arben ku bimbun bat. Oni nya beri ngari bimbun ina name pawa nya beri. Ya name ngari Raark yo. Pe name ngari jal bimbun jal bon nongan waral. Agar memanen baru ngkot kulong adu. Bat mana ima beri. Karena man makono on karmut beri ngkot kulong.
The Raark itself is the cross-hatching that breaks up the different formal aspects of the painting. The Raark actually comes originally from body painting. So the ceremonial origins of Raark is what gives the paintings their power. It's almost a literal depiction of what it feels like to be in that place. Well, Maningrida is a remote community, about 500, and I stress the word remote. It's about 500 kilometers from Darwin. It's difficult to get to, quite isolated. It's in northwest Arnhem Land. The art there goes back a long time. But the art that's centered around Maningrida in terms of the marketplace building up for it began in the early 1970s. There's been a tremendous change in terms of how the movement has developed in that time. In the last 5 years in particular, there's been great success taking the work overseas, and it's touching a nerve and really moving people from around the world.
I felt it was an absolutely unique experience to come here, and I've experienced the degree of emotional depth that these artists have when they're talking about the roots of the work, and I think that's what infuses the work. I think that comes across in the work. So we're not talking about a cold, calculating abstraction. We're talking about an abstraction which is actually transmitting very emotive and deeply important mythologies about the land and the people's connection to the land, and that particular artist's connection to the land. Although the artist might talk about it in very practical terms, there's a great emotionality there as well. One can tell how fundamentally important this work is. It's not something which the artists produce as decoration, These are serious contemporary artists making serious contemporary works of art, and they happen to be based in the land, in the country, as opposed to in the city.
I think one of the really interesting things about Australian Aboriginal art has been the incredible amount of innovation that one sees, that these really are artists, and they're making choices, and they're making decisions about what colors they want to use, what images they want to paint, how to present. I mean, they're very grounded in their cultures and their traditions, and they have particular stories that they may want to present, or landscape or seascape that they feel a need to portray. But the choices that they've made about how to do that are quite remarkable. One of the most innovative forms of contemporary art that I had seen in a long time. Very exciting, very dynamic.
One of the things that artists continually reiterate is that the way they want to share this connection with country, with a broader audience. And they reiterate often that we want people to understand this connection. We want people to believe in what we believe about the spiritual links between people and country. And painting, I think, has become a very important means to be able to educate the world these days about that particular connection.